Welcome back, this is Nerd Dad on episode 17 of our Factorio playthrough, and we just got ourselves some electric engines, and whoa, look at all those bugs coming in over there, man, they're just starting to come from there like crazy. Guessing maybe that great big chunk over there. Starting to think maybe we're going to have to start getting on the offensive here and starting to knock some of these out. We could easily wall off, have one little defensive perimeter there and get rid of all this if we had the wherewithal to do so. So we might think a little bit about that, but the first thing we want to do is get ourselves some robots, because it's nice to have those robots with us when we do a bit of fighting as well. They can sort of heal our guns for us. So I'd like to have them when we start to do some expansion as well. Okay, what were we doing? Well, we were trying to get to these flying robot frames, and that's why I was thinking I needed steel. You know, I thought last time I'd really goofed up, but now looking at it, that was what I was actually thinking about. Okay, so what are we going to do here? Well, where do we want to build these flying robot frames? And I'm almost thinking maybe we should have been sending these reds down this way and getting those frames up. Mind you, you know, that green staying nice and thick. We could splice off that line. I think we're gonna just kind of do what we were. I kind of had already planned it, but not quite to this extent. So I think we will do something. Just gotta think it through a little bit here. If I was to split it right there, well, it's not gonna matter which side I really do it on, is it? Just means I only have to run one line. So if I go something like that and then bring this sort of splitter across like that, we're going to want to run this sort of this way. Actually, that kind of does cause me some grief though, doesn't it? Think. What do we want? Well, let's get more trash slots. You can never have enough trash slots. Actually, it's the logistics slots we probably want more of. I think about a few things here. I haven't really done combat robotics, and I'm thinking maybe that might be kind of fun. Let's see what that does for us. I haven't really played around with that. I can't really say yay or nay to it. Thinking this through again. We need 4 items. We're going to need electric engines, batteries, steel, and circuit. So if I was to bring in this, double it up, I'm going to have to split that line, split in the battery. I'm thinking we're going to want 2 split lines here is probably more realistic. Actually, you know what? Let's put that back the way it was. And let's, instead of doing what I was about to do, seems like such a long way for us to be running this, but I'm not actually too worried about it. It's the other side of this, which is going to be the battery. So if we double that up, sorry, doing a lot of talking out loud in my head. Let's get some steel. We know we need the steel, so let's just address that. Steel will have to come up like this, and then we'll just keep the steel kind of going right along here like this. And I'm thinking we're actually going to build all our robotic stuff up in here. Kind of give us our own little space for it. I'm not sure whether this is a good or a bad idea at this point. I'm two sides of the coin, heads and heads. Sort of thinking maybe, just maybe, this might be a great plan, or maybe it's a really dumb plan. Time will tell. So let's do this. Build our 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so we've got 2 sets of engines. We can always double that up if we want. We're going to want to feed the engines in, but we're going to want to get these batteries connected with them. So what we want to do is something like one line like that, line like that. This will convert into like this, and then we will bring in the batteries, sort of kind of jump them across like that. I think I can. How am I going to do that? Bump once. Okay. And we'll bring it in kind of like this. Just bump that right across those 4. We're at max range, so can't bring anything else down. There we go. Get our batteries over here, and we'll have a nice little 2-line. Just start spinning that backwards. Get that backfilled the way we wanted it to. There we go. And how many of these do we got in here? Actually, you know, let's just take that offline. Okay, and we're gonna want something like that to pull those in. We're gonna want something from the second line, and our second line's gonna be, we're gonna have to kind of do a little snake thing here. It'll look something like that, and whoopsie. So the question is, at which point are we going to do this split? And I'm almost tempted to do it way back here, actually. I'm starting to think I might just run a double split up here. Now, we do have enough green on here. Like, this green line is not in jeopardy in any way, shape, or form. Oh, so many choices. Why don't we think about maybe something like this then? Split that line like that and then zigzag. Whoa, 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 that was not what we wanted. Somebody stop that crazy man. Okay. And then I brought the steel right there. So what we really want, what we're trying to say here is, we actually want to do something like this. And that will be our steel. It's not pretty, but it will work. And we seem to be saying that a lot lately. It's not pretty. Hey, look at that. We ran out of stuff again. So I think it's time to go to our shopping mall. Go down to our retail outlet down here. And I thought we had built something down here, which apparently we haven't built. So let's get that done. I want to get a little bit of ammo going on down here. Oh, and of course I needed some stuff. So let's pick those up. Let's just get a bunch of those. Let's get some reds. Let's pick up, how are we doing for transport belts? We'll just pick up a few of those. Get a bunch of those, and get a bunch of those. There we go. And everything else I think we're pretty good for. So we could probably use some more of those eventually too. Let's just backfill that out. We got some extra stuff in our bags we need to get out too, so we'll work on that. But what I want to do is I want to get some red ammo going into a box here, because we're going to need it as we expand. So we're starting to think expansion now. Oh, apparently I don't have any chests either. Strange. Running out of everything at the same time. Okay, I'll get some red ammo in here, and that'll feed really quickly. So what we're going to do here is we're going to just tell it don't do that much more than that. I think we've got enough capacity to keep that full without bleeding that line off, so hopefully we're okay there. Alright, let's get the steel. Since we're down here anyways, we may as well get the steel across here. We're going to come right onto that line right there, so kind of something like that. And just chunk, and let's see if we can just kind of jump this right across. Dunk. Okay, hopefully that gets us our steel over there. We're in alignment. It's always the big question, will we be in alignment? Oh, just missed that. Looking nice and clean through there though. Okay. What have we done? Well, that's a great question. What have we done? We should have some frames available now. Oh, I just don't like this bump here. You know, we gotta fix this. This is just not going to work. This bump is going to hinder us, I believe. Let's see how this does, and then we might do a little bit of cleaning here. We might have to bump a couple lines around. I have a feeling this is not going to be what we want. I think we were going to want to bring another 4 of these online, and because of that, I think I want to get rid of that bump on that side. So let's get these at least building. That's something, but they take quite a while to build. So they, they each, it's not that they take a lot of one resource, it's they take a lot of a bunch of different things, and then they take quite a while to build. And because they take so long, you can see this line's nice and thick, and this is what I'm talking about. I want to get rid of this bump here so that we can actually build another set of this. Let's get gun turret damage, because we are going to start thinking expansion here pretty quickly. So I'm thinking what will probably be smart to do is just jump this all around a little bit. I think I'm going to move a couple of things just so we can get a second set going here. And we'll do it this way. So just a little bit of a change here. Pull that offline. And just kind of, we'll have to feed all these batteries back in there. That's okay. On second thought, we want to do something else. That's not ever too much of a problem. In fact, we're going to want to do this and that, like that. Okay, and that's going to allow us to bump this one sooner. There we go. Now it's starting to look a lot better. Of course, that would help if we put that to the right place. Now we should be able to bring in 1, 2, 3, 4 of these. Copy, paste that down. And basically just mirror image it on this side, on this, other side of the track. And we'll just kind of go like this. Whoops. And just really quickly get this up and running. If we do something like that, we always have to remember to extend the second line across. So we just got that done. And then we can join these up at the end here. I'm not sure that I might not want more. I may even want more of these. So for right now, we're going to bump this across. And we will join them sort of like right here. Just kind of do a little snake path here. Yeah, we got a few of them coming out. So we're starting to get our our frames in place, which is great. And there we go. Hopefully they'll start kicking some of those out pretty soon. These guys should be just about built. There we go. Start pulling out what's in the inventory. That's great. Let's get another grenade and just toss it in the middle of those trees. And chop that down. And what are we doing for ammo? I just want to try to check our armor here. I want to change out my armor. We might almost be at a phase where we could probably even get better armor, but I'm not going to panic too much. And let's start looking at what robots can we build. Well, we can build construction robots. We can build logistical robots. And you can see that each of those took a different... Man, that place is just getting really active. You saw that when we looked at those, the only difference between the two is they both take a flying robot frame. The only difference is the logisticals take advanced circuits and the constructions take green circuits. So we can, we could tap one of these lines for the green, and we might just do that. You can see right now we are not having problems with the greens, and knowing that this is a slow pull, we might just pull right off of this line. That will get us our greens. With the reds, we're feeding to here, and we could probably pull off the end of there, because right now the blues are not having any problem either. So I'm not sure that's what I want to do, but we might do it as at least a temporary permanent measure. Does that make a lot of sense? No, but let's go with it. And what we're going to do is, the biggest issue typically is that you don't have enough frames. And frankly, you can usually get by with just one of these factories. I'm going to put down 4, but I'm only likely going to use 2 to start with at least. So what we're going to do is we're going to put this filter inserter on here, and we're just going to bring this across, kind of like this. And we will have this guy just pull right off there. And we're going to want... I'll do something like... Just kind of thinking my way through here what I want this to actually look like. We'll do that. Do that. This will be for the reds when they come in. We're not going to want logistics to start with too much. Logistics is about moving stuff around. Construction is about keeping things repaired and building. That's more my concern right now, is just getting those constructors up. But we will get some logistics really quickly. It's just I want to get the constructions first. Okay, so if this is my sort of give me robot stuff, what we'll do is we will, just to start, actually there's another thing we want to look at. We want to look at these roboports as well. Kind of need to do a bit of a think tank here for a sec. I'd like to automate the roboports. Oh, we have this nice red thick line here. The only issue that we've got is oh, it'd be nice if we could split this steel line. And steal the steel. No pun intended, but yeah, that's exactly what we want to do. We want to steal the steel. So yuck, this is getting kind of gross, isn't it? Could I make this any worse? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I might be able to snake it through there. I think I can squeeze it. This is going to be one of those. This is going to be a real snake job. We're going to actually do something like this. Kind of doing a couple things at once here because I'm just trying to make sure we can get everybody from the party in place. Actually, let's just pull that up like this and then bring that back this way. Okay, so that's perfect. So we know we can get the steel. Iron ore I'm not too worried about. There's always some sort of iron ore laying around. Mind you, the only real iron ore we have is feeding our greens right now, and we don't really want to jeopardize those lines, so I may have spoke a little too soon, and this one's really having troubles keeping up, isn't it? Well, what do we got going on here? This is just for pipe that's not being used, so maybe we'll splinter off that and pull some down here. Might be a little bit ugly. I kind of guessed by me building extra up here, what I do is I tax these other zones. The more you push this way, the more we've got to start sort of sneaking lines through. And I kind of, that's why I was humming and hawing a bit, but it's okay. We're not, in a horrible spot. We're still doing okay. But let's get these construction bots up right now. That would be nice. So let's get those going. And let's give you the instructions we want, which is please grab some green circuits. And that should be that simple. It should be just like that. And, oops, you know what? I put you going out the wrong way. I want you like that, and you're going to be coming in, is what you're going to do with reds. So you're going to have to come around like this. Something like that. Not perfect, but it will work. So there, see all these construction bots being flipped out for us, so that's great. I'm thinking maybe what we'll do is we'll build our first RoboPort just manually. Don't really like doing that. Should we? Shouldn't we? Should we? Should we? Shouldn't we? Should we? You know what? Let's commit. Let's go and do it. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to steal off this line because this line's only really used... mind you, it is for these engines, but you can see that it's solid, it's thick, it's not having a problem. I don't really like doing this much stealing from lines, but I think we kind of need to here. Oop, almost pumped that into that line. That was almost a mess. Okay. So if we were to build, I don't know, we're going to build what? We're going to build RoboPorts. We're going to want iron gears, so we're going to want to do something... Chunk. Just got to get us thinking about what we're going to do here. And I may as well do our 2-to-1 system here. It seems to be working for us, so 1, 2. Now let's just make sure that we can... The issue that we've got right now... Oh, look at all those reds we got. So we got lots of reds. In fact, well, yeah. It's going to be running a split line into here just because of how this is. This is pretty tight right here. In fact, we'd be better doing our split line over here and actually moving this all down, I think. Oh, except for if I want to double this up, then we're going to get into trouble, aren't we? So what does that look like? If we end up having to double this, we're going to want to have that like that. So we can't go any further than... Well, actually, it's going to be... We need 2 lines, right? So that's the furthest we could go, which means that if we want RoboPorts coming out, and we want factories coming in, and if we want sprockets, we're basically exactly where we said we'd have to be. In fact, we're not going to have space enough anyways because we don't have enough space to run the extra lines. So, what are the chances we're going to need to double out the red engines? At some point, possibly yes. immediate future, I'm thinking we can get by without it. So I'm going to suggest that we're gonna negate that, and if we do it, we might just do it over that oil patch. So if that is the truth, then we should be able to say, okay, well, then we can push right against here for our roboports out, which means we can push to here with our building of the roboports. And if we're doing that, that means we can build 2 out from here like this and there, and those can be our sprockets in. And that isn't actually too bad of a positioning. I can work with that. We'll just have to get rid of that, and that's okay, because we really don't want to pick up any more of these reds anyways. We need to get rid of this box, if anything. In fact, we're going to do that. We'll throw the power line on the inside here. Get rid of this. And actually, this is working out really well, because that's just a natural place for that to turn into. So it's almost like we planned it that way. And once again, I can guarantee you we did not. And there, and we're gonna want off. Whoop, not there. We don't, because we got to reverse them when we do this. We got to put the blues in the middle when we do off these 2 things like this. And I should have done my outputs while I was in my blues. Okay, so this should be a roboport, and they take quite a bit of time to build. Yeah, they're like 10 seconds as well. So. Seems like forever sometimes, that 10 seconds. So, and then we're going to need to do a join right here, and this is where this is going to get a little bit ugly, because we're going to try to do an inserter on top of there, and I'm not too sure how well that's going to work. I'm not positive on the outcome of that yet. And have we got everything we need here? We need that. We need sprockets or iron gears. And I think we're actually there. We're taking a lot of damage somewhere. Where's that coming? Whoa, look at that. And the spitter sitting back there, lobbing them in. And we're getting some damage going on around here. Going to be fun to get some roboports and things up and start getting the automatic repairs. I think we're at the stage we want to be thinking about that. So it's good we're getting where we are. We seem to be on track for time. Okay. Flip that around. Okay, and roboports. Now we don't want to have hundreds of roboports. Well, we kind of do, but it's another one of those. I think we'll limit the builds because they do take quite a few resources. We don't want too many of them. We can only really deal with a certain amount at a time. So if we build, say, 20 of them, because they do it in stacks of 5, so we'll be good with 20 for now. That'll be a good place for us to kind of start, and then we can start thinking about what we're going to do with that. Now, the other thing we've got going here is we mentioned that we were going to want to bring some reds up here for our logistical robots. And how are we doing, by the way? We're still backlogged, which is it's great to see. Oh, I didn't pull off these yet. So we should get I think what we'll do is we'll put a chest up here. And let's throw some logic on here as well. Do some logic here right now. You can fill the box if you wanted to. Again, I want to be a little bit careful with my resources. So you can tell I'm overly cautious with my resources. So I'm going to say if my robots right now, if they get over 100, stop building them for the constructions. So if these guys are less than 100. And then I'm going to say same thing with logistics, and I'll just come pick up what I want as I need them. All right, there's logistics. Now we just got to get some red inserters here. And I do think we're going to pull right off the end of this line. Mind you, we're not using the blues right now, but I just don't think it's going to be a pressure. I just don't see it being a pressure. I think we're okay. So we're going to do it. And if it does become one, well, then we will fix it up. Pull the reds off the end. And where are we going with this? I think we'll pull it all the way up to this line up here. And by line I mean this vacant area we have between this pathway. That's the word I'm looking for. Pathway we have between our assembly machines. So we'll just kind of run it through here, kind of like this. And where's it going to hook up with? Right about there. So I've already gone too far, so that's great. And we won't worry about the jumpers right now because we may never even need them. So there we go. So we'll fill up that line really quickly. And yeah, we should be able to copy that over for right now, and then we'll just say, no, that's not what we really wanted. I don't know why I copied it. That was dumb. There we go. Logistical robots. And then we will say, okay, now that we've got some logic on that box, feed it. And there we go. And we should find that, oh my goodness, what have I done? That was fantastic. In all the wrong ways. Well, we're going to want some robots eventually. I don't know why I thought that was a good plan. Do that instead. There we go. Okay. Well, now we got that fixed. And that's looking good. I think we've got that about where we want it. You'll find that we'll quickly bleed this off with a couple of these going. Now, we could easily get 2 combat robot things going here and backfill this really quickly. I'm not in a real hurry for it right now, so I'm not going to press it. I'm happy with a couple of these building. But I think, hopefully by now, we have got at least one of these. In fact, we've got a few of these. And this is going to be where we start getting into some fun. First of all, it's probably going to cause us some power problems. But B, we can actually play with robots. So, what does that mean to us? Well, it means it's the end of this episode. Yeah, that's what it means. It means next time we're going to actually play with robots. No, we got ourselves actually to a build state. We're actually great. We got everything connected. We've got ourselves robots. We got ourselves roboports. We're actually ready to expand into robots. So, it was a bit of a haul again on this episode. It ran a little bit long, but I'm glad we did, because next time we're just going to grab these robots and start playing around with them a bit and start showing off what they can do. So thanks for joining me. Appreciate any likes, any comments. Of course, please subscribe. And I'm Nerd Dad, and I am out.